Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks.
Live from New York, it's the show that is reliving the 2012 wildcard game between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We all know the result, but
They beat us, yes.
Yeah.
We were down a quarterback, to be fair.
You were down a
oh
quarterback.
my God,
Down a quarterback,
it
to be
wouldn't
fair.
have mattered.
We beat you 6 days beforehand in Minnesota, and we went to Green Bay 6 days later with a backup quarterback and lost. It happens,
Feels like it might have mattered.
right? Thank you. Thank you.
Hold on, how many Super Bowls do you have?
One.
How many playoff wins do you have?
0.
Okay. The opener is 3 weeks from today. I'm Danny Parkins with Greg Jennings and Jeff Schwartz, sending those types of vibes for the show. We will talk Patriots Super Bowl hangover. Is it on the board that Wilds' team misses the playoffs entirely? Tough for Wilds to hear that tease when he's on vacation. Also, Shedeur, he gets the preseason start on Saturday. Can he do anything to win the starting job ahead of week 1? And finally, friend of the show, Drew Brees, was talking Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow winning their first ring. We will weigh in on who is most likely to get their first. Greg, I'd love to ask Jeff this question, but is there any feeling better as all teams think they can win the Lombardi Trophy? Anything better than hoisting that trophy?
You know what? Let's ask Jeff, because having never won a playoff game, I'm curious to see how they felt in his locker room.
After that loss or in general, I got to see this through my brother's eyes and win a championship with the Chiefs. I will tell you, the post-game party is very fun.
Yeah.
The post-game party at the hotel, Pitbull performed. It was a ton of fun.
Everyone kind of feels like we got the team to do it.
Yeah, it's that time of year to believe that you can do it.
Absolutely.
Let's start the show, though.
Why not?
In Tampa, they probably think they have the team to do it. Baker is already playing with a chip on his shoulder this year. He wanted a contract extension. Apparently him and the team were far off. He's taking notes and ready to silence the doubters. Take a listen.
I think we're going to shock a lot of people this year, and so I'm excited to just get on the road and do that. There's no embellishing. I think you can't avoid it. There's the TVs everywhere. I think everybody's confident. Yeah. Hell yeah, I am. Everybody's picking us probably to have a losing record, so we'll see.
I don't know that everyone's done their picks yet. How does Baker know? It's not even predictions week time. But Jeff, do you like Baker's optimism?
You should be optimistic as a player. I agree with Greg. Like, everyone thinks this time of year they're winning a championship. Whether they know it or not, they think they're going to win a championship. I love his vision. I love his energy. I love the way he plays. But they're on the downslide. Look at the way that last year ended. Started 6-2, went 2-7 to end the year. Baker Mayfield's numbers dropped off. Really, turnovers became really high. Now, they had injuries, of course. But I was trying to think about, do we all agree that Todd Bowles on the hot seat?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely
Okay. The last 2 years, hot seat coaches. Brian Daboll, gone. Gannon, gone last year, right? Stefanski, gone. Raheem Morris, gone. McDaniel, gone. 2024, Saleh, gone. Daboll survived. Eberflus, your guy, gone. Peterson, gone. And Mike McCarthy, gone. Like, this has not gone well with a coach that we think's on the hot seat and a team that won't commit to their quarterback, right? They will not commit to Baker Mayfield long term. I think they sort of know where this is going after this season. So I love the enthusiasm from him, but they're refreshing guys on defense. And I think Ruben Bain's going to be good. I think Trotter's going to be good, but they're still young, right? They have to avoid the injuries on offense. And is Baker Mayfield going to regain some of that form that we saw really the first half of last season? I don't buy it. I think the Panthers are better in that division. I don't love the Falcons. I think the Saints can win some football games this year as well. So coach on a hot seat, right? Quarterback they don't really want to pay for long term. Quarterback a little older, coming off injury, redoing a little bit of the roster shuffling. I'm not high on the Bucs this year.
I'm not sure if the Panthers are just better. I know they won to get in and all the things. They were the playoff team and represent that division. But in that division, like, if I'm Baker Mayfield, of course I feel like this. Why not? And a lot of this is stemming probably from him not getting the extension and getting the money that he feels like the contract that he feels like he's deserving. But also, he's been in that locker room. He's been on that side of the offense where, they didn't have a great running game. They had injuries galore. And now you kind of press the reset button to a degree, and you have a motivated Baker Mayfield. We've seen motivated Baker. And when Baker Mayfield is motivated and he's playing for a contract, he is a problem. Simply put, his first year in Tampa, he was playing to prove that he was a starting quarterback in this league and he can be the face of a franchise, which happens to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he did it. I mean, glowingly. with no questions asked. And so now his back is against the wall once again, and he's saying, well, you gave me a couple weapons offensively. You give me Gainwell, who can catch out of the backfield, who can run the ball, give Bucky Irvin a spell. You gave me a young guy in Emeka Ibuka, who I've established a relationship with. He's probably going to be your number one guy. I still got older veterans in there. Ted Hurst, he's been talking about him and his progression over the course of offseason and training camp. So there is a level of excitement that you should have if you're Baker Mayfield. And more importantly, he is betting on himself once again. And when Baker has bet on himself, he has won. So I get it. Defensively, we don't know what they're going to look. Offensively, I think they're going to be just fine.
I also think that Baker's optimism or cockiness, because he doesn't shy away from that label either.
Never
right?
has.
Since he planted the flag in college.
Never has.
I think quarterbacks still have to be cocky, right?
No,
you can't win unless they're cocky.
Listen, man, I've known you a long time.
Yeah.
You know I'm saying cocky as a compliment.
Yes.
Like I like
it's great.
I like the swagger. It galvanizes a locker room. It galvanizes a team. I think in this case it is a little make-believe, and we've seen athletes do it before. Like you see that right there on the bottom? Buccaneers, favorites to win the NFC South. He's like, no one believes in us. It's like, no, you're actually the odds-on favorite to win your division. Now, you're not like a minus 200 favorite. You're still, you'd still take the field over them. But regardless, like, you are the favorites to win that division. People could pick the Saints or the Falcons or whoever, or the Panthers, whoever you like. But also, 2 years ago, Baker was excellent, right? It was 4,500 yards. It was excellent. Last year, he started excellent. If such a thing exists as an MVP conversation through 6 weeks, and I know on this show it does with Bruised Ballot and sports television in general, but like he was 5-1 with 12 touchdowns against 1 turnover. He was the third favorite for the MVP, and look at who he had beaten. He won that unbelievable 38-35 shootout with the eventual Super Bowl champion Seahawks, and a couple of other playoff teams in the Niners and the Texans, including a Texans team that by the end of the year we were like, oh, that's the best defense in football. So his optimism of, hey, if we're healthy and you add in Zach Robinson from the McVay tree, the in vogue offense of the NFL that in theory should make everything a little bit easier for the offense, like Baker's optimism is earned. Even if you are skeptical of it, it doesn't surprise me at all that he's carrying it that way because he has real data that he can point to.
He does have real data to point to, and how much do we believe the end of last season will carry over this year is the big question, right? Was it just a product of Mayfield being injured, which he certainly was? I mean, I watched that documentary on Netflix. I love Baker Mayfield's fantastic to root for. Like, he's easy to root for. The way he plays the game, his energy, his passion. He was beat up. We saw that through that show. They had some injuries last season at wide receiver, injuries at offensive line.
And he was playing through it.
He was playing through it, as you do. I mean, plenty of guys play hurt, but he was playing through it as well. Greg, do you think that downslide is sort of the backside of his career, or that just was a blip? Because he's getting older now, too.
See, I think it was a blip. We saw this type of downslide when he was in Cleveland. He played through injury. He was betting on himself, but he wanted to show his guys that I'm here for you. I'm going to play. I'm going to be loyal to this organization. I'm going to do everything I can to provide my services. And it hurt him. In Cleveland, it hurt him then. And it hurt him this year as well. And sometimes I think to a fault, Baker is such a competitor, he feels like I got to be out there for my guys, even sometimes, and in this instance, to his detriment. But I think just like when we look at teams and we say, man, they had a great regular season last year. Do you think that'll carry over? And we'll get into some teams today. Every season is new.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter if you end the season.
Positive momentum or negative momentum is something that we talk about. It doesn't really exist.
It's not a real thing that exists unless you just know that teams are, getting rid of everybody and they're just starting over. Then we have expectations and realistically, to a degree, that team's not going to really be a competitor. This team, though, they're not just selling. They're trying to win. They have a quarterback that is fired up, that feels slighted by the organization. Meanwhile, within the organization, you got everyone saying, well, he's been great. He's been getting here at 4 a.m. He's been doing everything. He's more focused than I've ever seen him. But you won't give him an extension?
Isn't that a problem, though? Aren't they telling you how they feel about Baker Mayfield without giving him that money?
No, I don't know if they're telling us how they feel about just Baker Mayfield or they want to see what they look like this year. and see if what you're saying is real. Like, okay, are we gonna just turn this thing upside down and start over, or do we have a real chance because Baker is actually legitimate?
Also, and this is not how you should pick division winners because it is a team game, but he's the best quarterback in the division still, right?
He is.
Yes.
Like, I'm not willing to put Bryce Young above him yet.
He's not there yet.
It's clearly not Tua or Penix.
We're gonna see what Tyler Shuck looks like. This year.
I know. Listen, Tyler Shuck was very.
He's gonna be.
He was productive.
He's gonna be. Yeah, he might be. We'll see.
We'll see. But like, I think everybody at this table would agree that Baker's the best quarterback in the division.
Correct. So picking the Panthers to win sort of breaks my rule about picking the best quarterback in the division to win. That typically is the way it works out. It didn't work that way last year, even in this division. He's the best in this division. If he plays up to what he's been, they can certainly get back to where they want to be. I'm curious what needs to get done this season for them to re-sign him. Is it 9-8 division win, or is it 11-6?
No, it's a good question. I don't know if it's more tied to his stats or playoff wins. Like, because I would think if he did what he did 2 years ago,
you got to.
I think you'd have to pay him in that way, even if they didn't win in the playoffs. But yeah, if it is tied to playoff wins, then there might not be anything that he can really realistically do. Let's go to New England, where they won plenty of playoff games last year. They're trying to put their Super Bowl 60 loss to the Seahawks behind them. They do have to play them, though, week 1, so rearview mirror also in front of them. Mike Rice weighed in on how they're going to respond, writing, quote, "A lot has happened since then. It set the stage for the question many are asking. Are the Patriots primed to succumb to a tougher schedule, or will Vrabel's relentless commitment to establishing team identity deliver another surprising run to the Super Bowl?" All right, Greg, is it more likely that the Patriots reach the Super Bowl or miss the playoffs?
Miss the playoffs. Sorry, Wilds, if you're listening. These are facts. Like,
so the odds say, of course, they are facts, right? They're 7.5 to 1 to make the playoffs, and it's like 2 to 1 that they miss. So, the odds are, of course, in your favor.
Yeah, look, I believe this to be a really good team. Did their schedule prove to be favorable? Possibly, yeah. But once they got into
no,
hold on. Let me finish.
It was the easiest schedule of the 21st century.
Once you get into the postseason, then the schedule is null and void now. Did they win those games?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Bo Nix broke his ankle.
They confirmed that they were a good team once they got into the postseason. They ended up getting to the Super Bowl. We're not going to say the Buffalo Bills or Denver Broncos. I get it. Injuries happen, just like the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
All the teams. It doesn't matter. Once you get in, it's about, can you actually be what we all kind of think you are, but maybe you're not. But this team, I don't think they're getting back. 6 teams in NFL history have lost the Super Bowl and made it back. 3 of them have won, 3 of them have lost. Those 6 teams are historic teams.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't believe is a historic team. Now, they have a lot of potential. They're very young. It takes a lot to get back. It takes a rebooting, a resetting. I don't know if they have that based on their schedule this year and then trying to go through that thick conference of AFC guys.
You talk about schedule. I look at quarterbacks you play more than like strength of schedule, like whatever year was last year. Let's look at who they played last year and look at who they played this year. Like, this is the problem, right? Is you're playing a schedule now that is just going to be that much more difficult for you this season. Have they improved as much as we think with the roster? Because you either get better or you get worse, right? You don't want to stay in the middle. Are they much better this year than they were last season, now playing where they had Lamar, Baker, and Josh Allen twice last year, right?
Yeah.
This year, they have Darnold, Lawrence, Goff, Mahomes, Caleb Williams, Love, Herbert, Allen twice. That doesn't include, by the way, Kyler Murray, end of the season, maybe he's playing very well, and Bo Nix, end of the season for the Broncos. Like, they play, 3 times as many quarterbacks this season? Is the defense as good as we think it is? Offensively, right? Does A.J. Brown make this offense that much better than it was last year? I think he will, because they need a deep threat. The offensive line, where's the offensive line at right now through the early part of training camp? Like, there's questions I have, and when you play that many quarterbacks like that, let's say you split that schedule right there, right? That gives you what? At max 9 wins, 10 wins? Like, they're not going to be as good this season.
Jeff, I think one of the things that you're missing, like, you got to put Drake May on that then.
Absolutely.
Because the other teams that are playing them are like, okay, you got to play Drake May. And he's no slouch. Like, he has proven that he can play at a high level throughout the course of a season. So as much as I agree with you, yes, they're playing better quarterback play. The teams that are playing against them, they're playing a better version of their offense, and hopefully he'll take another step with those receiving weapons that he acquired.
So, again, as the gambler on the show, with respect to Jeff also being a gambler on the show, it's nice to have you out here, buddy.
Thanks.
Like, if there was $20 on the table and you said you get to pick it up, miss the playoffs or make the Super Bowl, clearly the odds would be in favor of missing the playoffs. I understand that. But I tried to do the exercise before the show of finding 7 AFC teams that I could see making the playoffs and having New England out. It's hard to see, man.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Like, they're good. They are just legitimately good. Do you know how many of their draft picks are expected to start? 0. Like, every draft pick is a depth piece. That is the sign of a
really good team.
Really good team. They added A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs for a quarterback who is the runner-up to Matt Stafford for MVP in a really, really close vote. Drake May is awesome. Their coaching staff is awesome. I understand what you're doing with the quarterbacks that they have to face on the schedule, but they also still get to play the Dolphins twice.
And the Jets twice.
They get to play the Jets twice. Like, that should be 4 wins. Like, I have a very hard time seeing this team missing the playoffs.
Who are your AFC teams?
Well, I mean, listen.
So
predictions week's coming up in a little bit, but like Bills and Patriots.
The 3 teams out west.
In terms of like who can make it, yeah, sure. Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos can make it. Yeah. That would be 5. Ravens and Bengals, I think, can make it. That's 7. And then AFC South.
You need someone.
You need someone. And listen,
but I mean, they got viable teams now.
Texans, Colts, Jaguars could make it. So like, I think that's 10 teams for 7 spots. Yeah. Like off the top of my head, I don't think Pittsburgh I would put in that group. But so that's 7 teams for 10 spots. I think New England is in. Yeah. I think they are in the playoffs this year because I think Drake May is awesome.
Okay, so getting back to the question, I know.
Right. So I'm sort of saying, like, I don't want it to be clipped because I know the odds are. Seriously, but like, I don't think they're missing the playoffs. I don't.
I agree with. I do agree with that.
So therefore, let's put it. I would rather bet them to win the AFC than I would bet them to miss the playoffs. Like, I absolutely think this team can go back to the Super Bowl. What's the weakness? Left side of their offensive line?
The offensive line is a question mark.
Left side of their offensive line. And Drake May took a ton of sacks last year, and his sack rate did not improve like Caleb Williams's from year 1 to year 2. So like Drake takes a bunch of sacks.
And some of that is on him. It's not just on the offensive line when we watch the play.
I appreciate that. Someone had to say that on national TV. I like that. Yeah. They always blame us.
It was clearly evident. Like, he holds the ball longer than what he should. Yes. He needs to get rid of it. But I think, again, if we're talking about Caleb and some of these other quarterbacks taking a step, he's watching film on himself. He has to correct that. He understands that.
I think that they are the most obvious better team, worse record. Like, they're not gonna win 14 games. But I do think they are better than last year. You add Romeo Doubs and A.J. Brown to that team, you don't lose a ton. The pieces that you lost, you replaced. Like, I think they are
definitely got better.
Very solid roster. That if they win 11 or 12 games this year, it's like, oh, did they take a step back? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Them and the Bears are the 2 teams that will be better with worse records. I'm sorry to bring the Bears up, but like they're the 2 that I think are better with the worst records. Their schedules are just much tougher. Which happens in the NFL.
I mean, Jacksonville's a candidate for that. Denver's a candidate for that. The Bears, the Patriots. There's a lot of teams that are candidates for it, but I don't see the Patriots missing the playoffs. Let's go to L.A. We had some news today. Chargers center Tyler Biadasz, we hinted at this yesterday, out indefinitely, suffered an ACL injury during yesterday's joint practice with the Niners. Now, the Chargers signed Biadasz to a 3-year, $30 million deal this offseason, so it's a tough start for him. Jeff, as our resident offensive lineman here, how big of a deal is this for Herbert?
This video, put the video back. That video really bothers me because this is a very avoidable injury, right? And you have to learn in the NFL how to practice properly. That's a big part of being in the NFL. And I think those veterans, there are veterans, not Joe Alt, but they have veterans on that left side of that Chargers offensive line. There's also the issue I have a little bit with joint practice. They probably aren't throwing their own guys on the ground when they're not having joint practice. But you cannot throw guys on the ground in the line of scrimmage.
So you're saying that that is on his player who threw the opponent into him.
Don't throw guys on the ground in practice. In a game, I get it, it's going to happen, But in practice, just hold the guy up. If he's out of control in defense, grab him, hold him up. Part of being a pro is learning how to practice properly. It's another reason we don't get joint practice soliloquy now, but like that wouldn't happen if they're playing the Chargers, in my opinion. They'd hold the guy up. Nonetheless, look, they brought in Biotic because their center position was the worst in the NFL last year. Like, it was atrocious. When you watch them play last year, the center was bad at everything he did. He wasn't good at anything. They brought in Biotic to make that happen. Obviously now not good. Now they did draft a guy from Florida this year, Jake Slaughter, who's going to have to play immediately now, clearly. And this is why, by the way, I think you draft for best player available. Like, they didn't need a center, they just got a center. But now they have a center to play. Like, this is why teams, I think, that are best suited all the time to draft the best player available on your board. You never know when you need him. But this is a veteran guy. I mean, Biotic is a good football player. He's been with a lot of quarterbacks. It's a problem. He's not there. Now, Slater should be back soon. We know Alt's back. So the offensive line is going to be better, but I still think it's a loss. And the Chargers just, every year they have these losses, man.
So it's clearly a loss. I'm not as concerned because of what I saw them able to overcome last season.
Yes.
And you talk about literally your cornerstones of your offensive line and your two tackles. You don't have them, and you still found a way to make the playoffs, make the postseason. You lost your running back. There was a lot of things that were going against this team. With a young center that you're talking about that they drafted, you draft him. The reason why it's not as concerning for me is because he doesn't take on any of those pressures of, I got to ID what's going on. I got to get it in the right protection. You have a very capable Justin Herbert to do that. He's a veteran guy. He's clearly going to be calling an ID and protection and, the pressures and all that, taking that pressure off a young center. Obviously, Biotic is he is a loss. And so I don't want to undervalue that. However, when you have a veteran quarterback and a young center, I would rather it be that way than have a young center and a young quarterback. Now you're in trouble.
And so, hold on a second, because I can hear in my ear buzzing Nick Wright from Europe being like, here comes the excuses for Justin Herbert.
He didn't make
and all
them.
these people.
I didn't.
No, from me, from the Herbert. All the people on the internet flashing that meme of him like a superhero with the if. He's the if quarterback. If this, he would do it. If this. I want to be very clear. Where am I looking? Nothing changes for Justin Herbert. The expectation is still be an MVP caliber player and win multiple playoff games. But I feel for Chargers fans because it feels like deja vu all over again. It feels like 2022 when Rashawn Slater tore his biceps. It feels like 2023 when Corey Linsley, their Pro Bowl center, played 3 games and it was like a heart issue out of nowhere. Feels like last year with Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt both going down. So obviously losing Tyler Biotic on a 3-year, $30 million deal before the season so you can prepare for it is not the same as losing Joe Alt, a top 5 pick, and Rashawn Slater on a $114 million deal, 2 of your 4 highest paid players on the team. This obviously isn't that, but they're like, we had 10 different offensive line combinations last year. And we had problems the year before, and 3 years ago, and 4 years ago. So there is a little bit of a feeling around the Chargers that the protection for Justin Herbert is just straight up cursed. I don't believe in curses, but hopefully this is the only piece of bad news that they get in terms of protecting Justin Herbert, so it's not here we go again.
It is not an excuse for a lack of success this season.
It is not.
It's just a data point that the center is out, right? They have a rookie center in there. The one thing that's curious about this offense, though, is this offense does put a lot on the center. So I'm curious to see if they do change that with Herbert being a veteran and maybe some of the other guys help him out a little bit. But look, I mean, this is why you got to play young guys. You draft guys, you got to play them sometimes. And buddy, here you go. Here's your ball. Like, go play center.
And sometimes explanations are excuses. Or excuse me, excuses are explanations. I said that backwards. Like last year, they had 10 different offensive line combinations.
Correct.
The only guys sacked more than Justin Herbert were Cam Ward, who had no idea what he was doing, and Geno Smith, who turned in one of the worst quarterback seasons we've seen in the last 5 years. And Justin Herbert, who had 26 touchdowns and won 11 games, and he had no help in front of him. So last year, it reached a critical mass where it was an excuse that also explained the poor play. Tyler Biotic losing out to an injury, that's not enough. They got to be able to overcome it. They got to be able to overcome it.
I'm kind of with Nick on this one. Because I don't want to hear the excuses either.
You're not. Tyler Biotish does not raise to the level of
what has the
excuse.
potential to come up is
It's just bad news.
You know, they lost defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, so their defense is maybe not going to be. Don't do it.
I can't be any clearer. Nothing changes.
Okay.
The goal is still win multiple
Archive
times.
this clip.
But listen, man.
Archive
if
this
tomorrow
clip.
they're like, hey, Rashawn Slater's not coming back.
That's a
and then
problem.
the day after that, they're like, and now Lad Batonki's out. Like, at some point,
That's
they can
an
reach a
issue.
critical
Yes,
mass.
correct.
But right now, it's like, okay, bad news. But they'll be fine. For now. I'm sorry, Chargers fans, man. You've had it rough. You've had it rough with these injuries recently.
I forgot about it.
For the moments that matter, choose Curad Naturals. Infused with aloe vera and vitamin E, Curad Naturals bandages protect your unexpected scrapes, cuts, and burns while also moisturizing your skin. Find deeper relief with natural ingredients you can trust to start the healing. When life's surprises call for the best, choose Curad, a deeper level of care. Shop the full collection on Amazon or visit Curad.com to learn more.
There's never been a race like this. One weekend, one city. The Freedom 250 Grand Prix. 7 turns, 1.7 miles. Look at this crowd. Fans have turned out in a huge way. He has momentum now, past the capital. This is history in the making.
We are officially counting down to the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. You see it right there, 3 days, 20 hours from now. It takes place in our nation's capital. Sunday, coverage begins at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, only on Fox. Let's get back to football. This is one of those fun barbershop hypotheticals here. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow all still hunting for their first Lombardi trophy. Now, friend of the show, Drew Brees, was asked which one of the three is the most likely to get a ring. Here's his answer. Take a listen.
I'll start with Josh Allen because I mean, look, he's certainly a fan favorite. I'm a huge fan of him. I love the way he plays the game. I love the way he's evolved. I think as a player, you know, when he first came in this league, he was super raw, unbelievable talent, unbelievable athlete. Man, he's really playing the quarterback position at a high level. I was then going to go to Lamar Jackson. I was then going to go to Joe Burrow. Like, I feel the same way about those guys as far as like what they mean to their teams, right? And to those franchises. The problem has been they all got to go through Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Take a stand, Breeze. Greg, who is your pick of the three? Not necessarily this year, but who will get their ring first?
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking at it like even this year, Lamar Jackson. And the reason why, and it's not just about the head-to-head to how I see these quarterbacks, because you've heard me mention, like, I feel like Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the game. Like, respect him. Joe Burrow, obviously, he's been there to the Super Bowl, been to the AFC Championship. He beat Mahomes. We all know that. But the reason why I say Lamar Jackson is because he has something now that I don't think the other two have, which is a head coach that has an emphasis on defense, and the talent on defense is already there, set, and really good. And what Jesse Minter's track record shows me and will show us is that he did it in LA with the Chargers in terms of turning that defense around. And when you look at the talent that's on this Baltimore Ravens defense, he's going to have this defense ringing right out the gate.
It feels like he has more talent
absolutely
in Baltimore than he did LA, but he had LA's defense outperforming Baltimore.
Yes, and so the reason why I say Lamar is because when you look at the history of the Baltimore Ravens, like, they just run the ball. Like, they've always been top 3 since 2018.
Until the playoffs.
Until the playoffs, but again, I'm equating that Jesse Minter is going to be a difference maker because of that defense. And so Lamar, I believe Lamar is going to be who Lamar's always been, regardless of how we feel about him in the postseason. You can say what you want. Josh Allen has been tremendous. Last year in that Denver game, he felt something when he missed when he missed the tight end wide open. Like, if that had been Lamar, we'd have been like, there goes Lamar again. Joe Cool has always been cool, but it's like, can they get back there? And sometimes when you make it as early as Joe Burrow and the Bengals did, you just think you're going to get back, and you never have the opportunity to get back, and we know what that defense does not look like.
I'm picking Joe Burrow, even though I think they're maybe not as good as Baltimore on the roster. Don't love the coach, but as a fan of a team who plays Joe Burrow in the playoffs, they worry me the most of anybody. Joe Burrow has lost 2 playoff games in his career. He's only been twice, though, but he lost 2 of them.
Right. 2 trips to the playoffs, but he's 5-2.
Correct. And he lost on the final play of both those games, the Super Bowl and the AFC Championship game. He has proven in the postseason, if he gets there, that he can win at a high level. Now, they improved their defense, obviously, this year. I know a lot of people love them to go over their win total and potentially win division. We'll see if those things come to fruition. But when he is in the postseason, he has proven that he knows how to win these games. He makes clutch throws. He's super cool in the pocket. It's all those winning plays. You know, Josh Allen is a great quarterback, as we know. I think we all agree, best in the NFL. He's fumbled the ball 15 times in playoff games. He's only lost 5 of them, but 15 fumbles. Joe Burrow's fumbled the ball 0 times in 7 games. Like, Joe Burrow takes care of the football in those big moments. The if is always if they get to the postseason, if Joe Burrow makes it healthy. Now, because again, their offensive line, I don't love their offensive line. It's not as bad as people want it to be, but it's not great. The defense, we'll have to see how those guys play this year, but Dexter Lawrence is such a huge addition to that defense. They added guys at all 3 levels. So to me, it's Burrow because I've seen him do it. And as a fan, I worry about him the most. If I'm a Chiefs fan and we're playing Buffalo, Baltimore, or the Bengals, I worry most about the Bengals.
So I love this topic so much, and I'm going to pick Josh Allen. Like, so we're all customers. Like, I honestly think that this could be like a 60-minute podcast that at the end we'd be like, we all made some pretty good points.
Yeah.
Because I agree with everything you said about Jesse Minter and what he could do for the Ravens defense, and I agree that Burrow, he won in college, feels like when he gets into the big games, he's terrifying. But Josh Allen, he's 8-7 in his career in the playoffs. Lamar's 3-5 and Burrow's 5-2. That means that you add up Joe Burrow's games and Lamar's games, and you equal Josh Allen's games. Like, Josh Allen always gets there. He's always there. He's always healthy. He always makes the playoffs. And generally speaking, he always plays well in the playoffs. Now, I know he had the 4 turnover game against Denver. I'm not writing that off. But in 3 of their last 5 playoff losses, they've allowed 29 points or more in those games. Like, sometimes he loses in shootouts.
Yeah,
like, you know, whereas Lamar, I got real questions about whether or not Lamar is going to individually be good in the playoffs. And I got real questions about whether or not Joe Burrow is going to make the playoffs and be healthy.
Yes.
Like, both those guys have bigger injury issues, and he's not as good in the playoffs, and he doesn't always make the playoffs. So I would pick Josh Allen, but I could make cases for both of your guys too. Like, I think the Ravens are the best organization, and I think they might be the best offense. Like, it's a fun debate because they're all awesome players.
Does your opinion change about Buffalo, yes or no, because they made the coaching? It feels like the coaching change was made to get over the hump. We're not winning these games. There's many reasons why they haven't won these games. The 13-second game, obviously very famous, but you know they lost to Chiefs in divisional round. Was it 2 years ago at home? Missed a field goal. Went a fake punt for no reason at wrong time. You know, last year it was a turnover. I thought they had to make a change. I put out there at the time after that Denver game last year, something had to change. Whether it was like a roster redo, whether it was a coaching, like something had to be different because they've been broken too many times over. So do you think Joe Brady is the right guy to get him there?
Listen, it's tough to know. I was thinking about this topic, obviously, since we decided on it, and it was like, all right, I don't love Zach Taylor, and I don't really know about Joe Brady or Jesse Minter. Like, Jesse Minter, I completely agree with your analysis. He seemed to overachieve with the Chargers, but we have no idea if that'll carry over when he's a head coach. He's never done it before. Joe Brady, he was instrumental in
Josh
Allen, and then becoming more balanced in their offensive line. But we have no idea how he's going to be as a head coach because he's never done it before. It's weird that we can have 3 quarterbacks that are going to be Hall of Famers, that are going to be like era-defining players, and all of them are heading into this year where we're like, I don't know if any of them have an asset at head coach.
So one thing I will add is when you look at the Buffalo Bills, they've always had the easiest path, or Josh Allen, I'll say,
and now
has always had the easiest path versus these two who have to go head-to-head against each other and then try to beat Josh Allen and or Patrick Mahomes in the postseason, whereas Josh Allen has always, it's just easy path. Now, we'll see how it looks because the Patriots are for real. And they're not going to allow or afford Josh Allen to just cruise through that division every single year like he has been. So those 8 playoff wins and that guaranteed we're making the playoffs, I'm not saying that they're not going to make the playoffs, but it's going to be a little different.
Did you tip your hand with your predictions week there? Felt like you picking the Ravens?
No, it's not prediction.
You picking the Ravens this year?
It's not predictions week. I didn't know.
Felt like a little hand
Okay,
tipping.
I like that then.
All right. Week 1 is officially 3 weeks away. 3 weeks from today, we have real football, boys. The Seahawks will steal a page from Nick Wright's book and drop a banner in Seattle to open the season. Vegas giving them the 4th best odds to win it again. And this is very meta, Jeff. I'm going to ask the question.
Yeah.
Are we talking enough about the Seahawks' chances to repeat? We could just talk about their chances to repeat, but it's like, are we talking enough about it? But we're the people who talk about it.
No, we're not.
Okay.
And I think the reason why is they're in the Pacific Northwest. They're far away from everything, which is certainly true. But 2, I still think people sleep on Sam Darnold. I think that it comes down to it. He played great last year. Actually, the Super Bowl, he didn't play very well in that game. But I think we still look at Sam Darnold and think to ourselves, at best, he's what? The 10th, 12th best quarterback, somewhere around there. And people like me who like the Rams, I liked the Rams a lot last season. I like them again this year. You know, they were one flunky, weird 2-point conversion attempt away from having to go to Los Angeles for the NFC Championship game. Instead, they were the ones that got to host that game, right? So like a coin flip of a play that was reviewed there. I mean, it's the worst play of the entire season they ran. They scored 2 points on it, right? Like that could have changed the entire season. I think we look at the Rams being really good. The Seahawks, again, coin flip that they switched that game. Sam Darnold, but they're still a really well-coached team, and they got a lot of good football players. They're going to be right back in the hunt again.
So I feel like a lot of my takes have been surrounded by coaching. And when I look at this Seahawks team, do I feel like we aren't talking about them enough? We're not. They are a really good team. And just like the Patriots, how we talked about them, can they make it? This is a team that definitely can make it back because of how they're configured from a roster standpoint and their head coach, really good head coach in Mike McDonald. However, when you lose a coordinator that afforded Sam Darnold to go from Minnesota and perform and look the way he looked, and then come to Seattle with Clint Kubiak and hit the ground running right away again, that's what gives someone like myself or outsiders a little bit of pause. It's not that I do believe Sam Darnold is a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But now it's like I got to see him do it again with Brian Fleury. And the way that offense looked and how they clicked, he and JSN, now you don't have Kenneth Walker. You got Charbonnet coming off of injury. Like there's a lot of little small pieces, but the biggest piece that's gone is Clint Kubiak. And anytime you lose a play caller like that, it's going to impact you. And so for that reason, I think that's why there's not been a lot of talk about them.
Yeah, I don't know if the Kubiak departure is why we don't talk about it enough, but I think it's definitely a reason to doubt him. The Pacific Northwest and the Darnold thing is definitely a media literacy point. I would just say this, like, and you're correct about it. I would also say, like, they return a lot for a Super Bowl champion. Like, Clint Kubiak might be huge, but this is what they actually on the field return. Of the guys who started the Super Bowl, 20 of 22. Of their total touchdowns last year, 39 of 44. Of their pressures and pass rush rate, 45 of 47. It's a remarkable amount of continuity for a team that was pretty dominant last year. Like they lost the 3-point game to the Bucs. They played the 3 games against the Rams to within 3 total points. And they steamrolled everybody else. Like they steamrolled the Niners in the playoffs. They steamrolled the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Like they were a dominant football team. So I don't think we are giving the idea of back-to-back championships enough credence because they're bringing back basically everyone who matters.
Also, it is hard to do. It is just simply hard to do.
But if, to Jeff's point, like, if the Eagles or the Chiefs had played last season,
They'd be the favorite.
This is true.
Like the Seahawks had played it. Hey, you're going to be 14-3. You're going to be the one seed, and you're going to
Yes.
blow out the opponent in the Super Bowl, and you're going to return 20 of 22 starters and your head coach and your quarterback. They'd be the odds-on favorite,
Yes.
and they'd be in the A block every day.
Very true.
Like, there is something to the geography of it.
Correct. And part of it is the Rams might be better, like on paper, than they are, and that's also why I think, look at the Rams and say, look what they did with Myles Garrett, look at what they've done with Stafford, like look at what they've done with the entire roster. They might actually be better than the Super Bowl champions. The Kubi, I think, is a great point. I parallel that to Ben Johnson leaving Detroit. Detroit was like 10% worse last season on offense. Like, it wasn't a lot. It was just enough to lose a few games. And if that happens in Seattle, they might not have the 1 seed, but now they're a wild card team. They're on the road. Like, that is a big change to go from a guy that got that offense going to something else. And if it's not the same, it's going to fall back a little bit probably. But if it falls back like 20%, you're looking at a much different team.
Price, the rookie, just slide him right in.
Over rushing? There we go.
Yeah, I'm saying he comes in. Oh, is that upset alerts music? It's never too early to talk a little week 1 upset alert. 3 weeks from the opener. It's practically tomorrow. It's next on First Things First. All right, time for my edition of Weird and Wonderful with the Wilds and the guys on vacation. Let's check in on my no big deal. A little Crosstown Classic, another walk-off. This time Alex Bregman getting in on the action. I mean, break up the Cubs.
I mean, they just can't do any wrong right now.
They can't. They can't. Wrigley is hopping. It's upsetting White Sox fans, so it's like an added bonus.
Surprised we don't have the game on right now somewhere.
I mean, dude, track it on your phone. It's all good. I'm just saying, fifth best odds to win the World Series.
They're playing good ball, man.
You on board?
Playing good ball.
All right. Best manager in the game, Craig Counsell. Got the MVP, PCA. My guy, Nico Horner. Break him up. Weird. Deep fly ball, Julio Rodriguez makes the routine catch, turns, and, well, I don't think this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Whoops! That was out number 2. I love when that happens. It's just objectively hilarious. Makes me think of Smalls in Sandlot.
It's also 20-0 in a position player's pitching. Like, I understand why he forgot how many outs there were.
Exactly. Like,
It's 19-0 for when he threw that pitch. Now it's 20-0 after the sac fly. Like, I sort of get why he wasn't paying attention to the full extent in a game like that.
Brewers went on to win 22-0. I mean, just be a professional. Count your outs. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. Eagles-Pats joint practice. Jeff wants these banned. A.J. Brown cooks Quinyon Mitchell. But
gotta
doesn't
finish the
complete
play.
it.
Gotta finish the play, baby. Hey, the ball placement, though? The ball placement, only where he can get it. This is why they got him. And so
To drop the pass?
No.
Okay.
To have this deep threat consistently now, he has to make the play. I believe he'll make that catch. But man, right out the gate too. Right out the gate, trying to set the tone like this is what it's gonna be.
And going against A.J. Brown's old team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. All right, let's get to some weird. OG Anunoby, he was in Times Square. We could just do, hey, let's get to some weird. Times Square, every single day. He's missing shots on purpose so fans could try to recreate his finals tip-in from Game 4. Some things just can't be recreated, and I can promise you that Spider-Man and the Gorilla and the Naked Cowboy and whatever else is going on in Times Square, none of those people could recreate this either.
This is okay. To get the full context, this makes sense because I'm like watching this, thinking there's no way he's missing these shots like this.
He's trying to do the alley-oop off the rim.
Yeah, I didn't know it was because of them trying to recreate.
Would you be able to tip slam that?
Slam?
Right. How high is that rim?
I'm guessing not 10 feet.
Okay, yeah, we good.
Okay, cool.
We good. We good.
But final wonderful. Padres at Citi Field last night. Bases loaded. Francisco Lindor, deep fly ball to right field. The robbery.
Give me those.
Tatis bringing it back.
So great. There you go.
Legit catch of the year candidate right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at this.
I mean, like over the wall.
Give me
bases
that.
loaded, on the road, like not his home park.
Snatch
and
your
then, like,
heart.
The ball flip at the end.
The hair flip.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, hair flip and a stare down.
Unbelievable.
Not all catches have swag. That catch had a lot of swag. All right, time now for afternoon headlines, sponsored by Ram Trucks. You know, nothing stops a Ram. Von Miller made his Cowboys introduction yesterday, and with the team fully embracing talking about the Super Bowl, he fit right in, talking about what it would mean for the fans and the city of Dallas. Take a listen.
The fans here are diehard fans, and if we're able to do that, if we're able to have a successful season and win the Super Bowl, like, it'd be a holiday in Dallas as well. Like, people love the Dallas Cowboys. They either love them or hate them, but at the end of the day, they all root for the Dallas Cowboys. And for us to be able to win a Super Bowl, it'd be crazy in Dallas. It'd be a holiday as well.
All right, so they're talking big picture in Dallas. They're not shying away from the Super Bowl stuff. Coach Mangini hates it. Either of you guys have a problem with it?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, cool. Me neither. So let's talk week 1.
Just like Coach, to be like,
Yeah.
don't
talk about the next practice.
Yeah,
The next rep.
The next film session.
the next rap.
Yeah. Him and I disagreed on a lot of topics last week. It was great. Can I make the case that they're on upset alert? I'm not saying I'm picking it, but the week 1 upset alert call here. Cowboys' biggest offensive question is left tackle. Giants' biggest defensive strength is pass rush. Thibodeau, Burns, Abdul Carter. Giants were absolutely atrocious against the run last year. Maybe Dallas takes advantage of that, but Giants could take advantage of some pass protection issues. The game's at night, game's in New York, new coach bump for the Giants. Takes a while for the Cowboys' new defensive parts to gel a little bit. They're relying on a lot of youth on their defense to click. Cowboys only being 2.5-point favorites in New York tells me, like, Giants are a very live upset spot here, Greg, against Dallas.
This is not a long shot. Like, as much as we've talked about the Cowboys, as much as I believe in this team, like, it's week 1. Anything can happen. You're on the road. There's going to be a buzz. Again, the Giants, you mentioned all these things. You got the new head coach. You got a young, swag, viberish quarterback coming out. Anything can happen. And if you're the Cowboys going on the road against a division rival, you can't take them for granted. You can't look at them and say, oh, they're the Giants of last year, or they're not that good. You got to take them serious, because if you don't, you're playing against professional guys. Every single time I took the field, and Jeff, you can speak to this, it didn't matter how I saw that guy on film. I had to respect him enough to want to destroy him every single time. Even though I knew I might have been better than that guy, I still got to respect him and have a healthy enough fear to where I can't let him get his hands on me, or I can't do. That's the Dallas Cowboys going into week 1.
Well, you learn the lesson the hard way. I think everyone does. The one game you don't do that. The one game you don't respect your opponent, you give up like 3 sacks and have a holding penalty and give up 4 pressures. It's not very fun.
Hypothetically speaking.
It was actually 1 sack and 2 halves. It doesn't matter. You learn that. Every player learns that they have one game without they don't respect their opponent. Look, so the Giants obviously are rebuilding this offense. And I have questions about where this offense will be in week 1. I think this offense should be better in week 10 than it is in week 1. You have Matt Nagy, you have Greg Roman there as well, and Brian Count. So you have sort of 3 different philosophies all into one. What does it look like week 1? I think it's easier for a defense and the Cowboys to be new with new pieces and play faster.
True.
And play a little quicker and be up to speed a little bit more. And the Cowboys, yes, their offensive line, I know people question. I think it's going to be fine this season. And the pass rush for the Giants is excellent. But you look at the weapons the Cowboys have. They should be able to generate points in that game. They should be able to run the ball in that game. MetLife Stadium is not a home field advantage. It's not one of those places where you're like, oh, it's going to be loud and we have to worry about first game of the year, cadence and all this stuff. It'll be loud enough, but not to where it disrupts the Cowboys very much. I don't have this on upset alert. It's not a game that I have. Now, am I taking the Cowboys cover 2.5? Probably not, but I'm not one of those guys that's going to take them to lose this game.
Okay, interesting. And not because of the talk, but it's like so much of what Dallas's talk is Super Bowl, ending the drought, Super Bowl. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, they're not like opening up at home against the Dolphins. They're opening up in prime time on the road against a team that absolutely believes that they can get them. You shouldn't overlook any week 1 opponent. You've been waiting months and months and months for the season to start. So I'm not saying trap game necessarily, but so much of Dallas is about the Super Bowl, and it's like, I don't know, man. Don't overlook the Giants in week 1.
Yeah, again, I'm with you. I'm not picking this as an upset alert.
Just wait.
However,
I'll pencil right now.
Yeah, no, this is pen. This is Sharpie for me. I'm not going to pick it as upset alert, but you definitely can. If it's a thing that can happen, simply because, again, I'm going to go back to the week 1. Everybody's learning something different. No one knows what's going to get thrown at them. There is no film. You can try to watch last year's tape on the opponent. It's going to look different. You have new personnel, you got new coaches, you got a lot of different variables. And so anything can happen, even with an offense that you're talking about with the Giants, that we feel like, I don't know if the continuity will be there. Well, if you find out there are some plays that just work, and they get it going, and that crowd gets going, and your quarterback gets to getting outside the pocket, making great throws, and anything can happen in week one.
There's also that one week one game we look back on every year and we're like, how'd that happen? I'm not sure if it's this game, but
Raiders, Patriots.
Yeah, something like that. It could cost the team a chance to be as good as we think they are.
Speaking of the Raiders, I think Fernando Mendoza can take the job. No one else seems to agree with me. We'll discuss. First things first.
First Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks.
Live from New York. It's the show that, I was reading about this. Dan Campbell says he drinks a gallon of coffee a day.
That is ridiculous.
It's too much.
That
right?
is excessive.
It's too much. Yes.
He was cutting back. I'm like, cutting back to a gallon? Now, I don't drink coffee, but
I don't either.
I drink coffee.
But I drink over a gallon of water every day. And
oh, good for you.
Because he works out. You hear he works out?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy works out over
big
here.
exercise guy.
Exercise guy.
I'm just making.
I drink about a gallon of water a day.
It's a relatable moment.
Yeah.
I drink a gallon of water
You
a
drink
day.
a gallon of anything?
No.
Really? I do the water as well.
Yeah, I should hydrate more.
Yeah.
Energy,
we're all in this
charisma,
together.
and red
It's
wine.
gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're gonna be my personal trainer.
Nope, not gonna be that.
Okay, cool. Coming up.
I'm a cheerleader.
Cheerleader. I appreciate that. Can the Bears have the best offense in the NFL? Pretty compelling case was made earlier today. We'll discuss. Also, the Rams. We're calling them a super team. Is there a weakness that's potentially emerging? And should Matt Stafford be concerned? We'll discuss. Let's start with some preseason action. A lot of games coming up. Shedeur Sanders in line to get the start Saturday against the Bills. Now, many people have Deshaun Watson in the driver's seat to be the Browns' Week 1 starter, but Todd Monken has not declared a winner to this competition yet, insisting that it is one. Jeff, do you look at this as Shedeur's last chance to win the starting job?
Yes, I've been clear about this from the beginning. I don't think he's gotten a fair chance. I don't think fair is a word we use in the NFL very often, and it's not really the way the league is constructed. But he's not gotten the fair chance. He's not gotten the same opportunity Deshaun Watson has. But there's also now two staffs that have coached him that have said maybe you're not the starting quarterback for the Browns anymore. He's got to play well this weekend. It might not matter, Greg. It really might not. They might have already made their mind up, and they're doing this just to be fair. Okay, let's give him the opportunity. But even like I think I saw yesterday, Deshaun Watson took the reps with the ones yesterday. So the Browns are playing Sanders, but he's not taking the reps all week with the ones. Like
they were saying they were rotating reps with the ones in the week leading up to this but Deshaun was going to get the reps with the ones in the main joint practice, and then Shedeur was going to get other reps. It's a weird competition.
I know that people don't like when I talk about the signs that the Browns are showing that they want one guy to start over the other, but they're very clearly showing signs they want Watson to start. He might not win the job because Sanders might play that much better than him, but they're trying to make Watson or at least have him win the job, Greg. And look, 5th-round quarterbacks do not start very often in the NFL. I know that I thought he'd be drafted much higher. I'm sure you did. I don't know if you did or not, but he was a 5th-round pick. There's only 2 franchise quarterbacks right now in the NFL. Franchise guys, so really guys on second deals they're guys or young guys that are playing as on the recontracts that are not dropped in the top 55. Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy, that's it. So even Sanders to get a full-time job would be an outlier in the NFL right now. And so I think this is it for him. He's got to prove this next couple of weeks he could be the guy who won't be starting in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe that this is not his last chance. Like and the reason you kind of alluded to it, this is his second coaching staff. So there was a lot of people that kind of felt like, I don't know if Kevin Stefanski was giving him a fair shot. I don't know if he liked him. I don't know if he really wanted him even to be drafted. And so we had that last year, and he really didn't play. Then he had the opportunity to play, and we saw what that looks like. Now you have a new head coach in Todd Monken that we saw the interaction when he first got hired. Shedeur comes in the office. It was like, man, we tried to get you in Baltimore and all these things.
You didn't try that hard.
But
could have had him in the first 4 rounds.
Well, no, they valued him, where they had him.
Yes.
Okay, so I was just saying they didn't try that hard.
But they valued him where they had him. And so for me, when you use another word, talked about it being fair. If Shedeur Sanders were clear head and shoulders better than Deshaun Watson, he would have the job.
Well, and he's getting passes deflected at the line of scrimmage and fumbling snaps.
It is that simple. This is no trying to knock on Shedeur Sanders. Like, I wish him the best. I thought he was a lot better, and I thought he was going to get drafted a lot higher.
Same.
It didn't happen. I'm not a scout. I clearly didn't evaluate him the same way 32 other teams did. And with that being said, if he goes out there and he looks the way he did in that first preseason game, or what we've seen, where he is hesitant, where he is not decisive, where he is late, where he is not making those reads, understanding where he needs to go and actually putting the ball where it needs to be, because he said that, I know I made the right decision, I slipped, I just didn't get it. Well, you can't have that. In your position, fighting for a starting job, you can't not execute what you know you should do. So it has to look clean across the board.
I expect Deshaun Watson to be named the starting quarterback of the Browns on Monday. This is it, but it's more ceremonial because of what you alluded to with the practice snaps during the week. A lot of coaches, whether you agree with it or not, do seem to value the controlled environment of the joint scrimmages, the joint practices, more than the preseason game.
Yes.
And that's when Deshaun is getting the reps in the main practice tomorrow against the Bills. So Deshaun started the first preseason game. He's starting with the ones in the main practice against the Bills. He's better than Shedeur Sanders. Now, that doesn't mean that he's good. It just means that he's better than a fifth-round pick. I expect Shedeur to start at some point this year, and I expect the Browns to draft a new quarterback to be their quarterback next year going forward. And my guess is we'll talk about this occasionally throughout the year. But I don't think the long-term answer for the Browns at quarterback is either of these two guys.
Look, in practice, I'm sure Deshaun probably looks far better than Shedeur.
Yeah.
Because practice is so much different than the games. And so when you want things to be clean, especially when you're going in joint practices, you want to have a clean-looking offense or defense. And so you're going to give your unit the best chance at doing that. You're going to put Deshaun Watson out there. He was the first-round draft pick. I know he's not lived up to what we saw him be in Houston and what he was early in his career, but he understands how to play quarterback. We know he understands how to play quarterback. And when you have that mental edge, it's going to show, especially in practice. Now, in games, different. But in practice, he's probably about it. He's light years ahead of Shedeur Sanders.
Well, the announcement will come soon. Let's go to the Raiders. First overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, got some reps with the ones at the joint practice yesterday. Should see a lot of action in tomorrow's preseason game against the Texans. He was very impressive, I thought, in the preseason opener against Arizona. Greg, do you think Fernando Mendoza will look good and impress again?
Absolutely. He just gives off the vibe of he's prepared. And what I mean by that is he's going to go into every game, whether he's the starter week one, whether he's a starter in the preseason game, prepared, knowing what's expected from him and ready to execute that game plan. When you watched him in that first game, in those pass attempts, he was very decisive. He was comfortable in the pocket. I don't even want to say he was poised, but he didn't look rattled. He was going through his second and third reads. In preseason games with young quarterbacks, Jeff, you know this, you don't see them getting to second and third read often. He did it over and over and over again and was completing those in those second wins. Another thing, throwing the ball across the middle, you don't see a lot of that. And the way he threw the ball and letting his eyes take the defender one way and coming back and throwing behind the linebacker level guys, he did that on repeat. He just has a comfort about himself. His footwork is great. he believes that he should be a starting quarterback. There's a reason why the Raiders picked him #1 overall. They saw what they saw. Now, will he be week 1 starter? That's a whole nother conversation, but I do expect him to be impressive in week 2.
That throw we keep showing, this one right here, the deep end, like he didn't do that in college. That's not Indiana's offense.
No.
And that was
It wasn't under center.
That was sort of the question that I think people had, like, can he make those NFL type throws? He made an NFL type throw right there.
Yeah.
And so he looked really good. I hope the Raiders name him the starter on Monday. Like I think he should be the starter week 1.
You think he should start over Cousins? I do too.
Absolutely.
Nobody seems to agree.
The people will push back and say, well, the Raiders' offensive line. Okay, well, if it's not good in week 1, what's going to matter week 4? Like, just play it. Like, play it now.
Am I crazy? I mean, Colton Miller, people like him at left tackle.
Yeah,
Tyler Linderbaum's one of the best centers in the game.
There's some questions on the right side.
Jackson Powers-Johnson, they in
right
theory
tackle.
like it. Yeah, right tackle's
That's
a
the
big
problem.
question. Yeah.
The reason why I play Mendoza is because you need to end this year knowing he's your guy. I think we know he's the guy. But I think you want to see him play a full season. When the season's over, you evaluate what you have on film and how to build around him. And maybe you only need 8 games to do that, but I would play him for 17. Cousins is not part of your future. There's no reason to have him play, in my opinion. You have a new coach. You drafted Mendoza. Let Mendoza go through being a rookie, figuring things out, so you can figure out how to play better throughout the season. We'll help him in year 2.
I also think he has something going for him that a lot of #1 picks do not have, which is he is aligned with his head coach.
Yeah.
Like he was drafted at the same time that the coach was hired. Caleb didn't have it. Cam Ward didn't have it. So many guys don't have it because they get drafted to a team that was bad, but the organization doesn't fire the coach, so he gets drafted to a team with a coach on the hot seat, and then he has to change. It's like Fernando Mendoza and Clint Kubiak just get to grow together. So I'm with you. I would play him, and I think he'll look good again in the preseason. All right, Broncos and Packers, next preseason game we're going to talk about because Jordan Love and Bo Nix both expected to play. Love coming off that early playoff exit. Who was that to? Who was it to?
Oh, Bears.
It was the Bears. Yeah, it was the Bears.
Forgot the Bears made the postseason.
Just in case anybody forgot. I don't know. I just thought people forgot. Bo Nix, of course, game short of the Super Bowl with the unfortunate timing of his injury. Jeff, you got more faith this year in Jordan Love or Bo Nix?
I guess the question is, what are the expectations? I mean, I have faith in Jordan Love being what he's been throughout his career, right? He's going to be the same guy. I don't really see Jordan Love, whatever the next step is, I don't know what that would even be. But
I think people started. I think if he put together a consistent season at his high level, he would be like a guy who's in the MVP conversation, which he never has been.
Sure, I could buy that. I don't believe that's the next step. I think Jordan Love is sort of what he is at this moment. You know, Bo Nix, I think for me would be more consistency, right? Just more taking shots down the field, maybe opening up the offense a little bit more than Sean Payton has for him. So I trust Jordan Love to be the guy that we expect him to be. I'm not sure Bo Nix is going to sort of take that next step for his career. But like the Packers, to me, they just are what they are. Like I don't really.
What do you think they are?
Like I don't really expect more or less from them. Like they're like a 10-win team. They're not a Super Bowl team. They're not going to miss the playoffs, in my opinion. They just sort of like are what they are. They don't really scare me very much, but they win a ton of football games. And that's what I expect from Jordan Love this year. I expect that from the Packers this year. They're going to be a 10-win team. They're not going to win a Super Bowl. They're not going to miss the playoffs. They play good, sound football. So I expect Jordan Love to be him. Bo Nix, I'm not sure he's going to get much better.
So I'm going to answer the question first, and I'm going to touch on that. I have more faith in Jordan Love because he has more talent. He has more ability, and he just needs to get it done.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, Bo Nix, I think they did a great job of getting him some additional weapons with Waddle, with Evan Ingram at tight end. I think he'll be better. That's the hope. That's why you start to put some pieces around him. He's had a decent offensive line, obviously the run game, and then the defense has been the calling card over there in Denver. Whereas Jordan Love, it's been about him. And he has a guy now in his division in Caleb Williams, and I'm going to mention it, that is, I'm going up with a bullet. And if you're a Packer fan, you want to see Jordan Love start to go up and you don't want to see a plateau, because you now see another guy coming in your division that can give you some real problems and headaches. And you know you have a guy that you truly believe he can give others problems and headaches. He just has to do it on a consistent basis. They have a young, talented group on offense. Matthew Golden, if he gets unlocked, he's going to be a problem. Jordan Love has to be better.
So it's a clean sweep here. I just think Jordan Love's a better player than Bo Nix. Bo Nix is in a great situation. I also think that the pressure that's on Jordan Love is he has to be great out of the chute because Micah is hurt. And like the Packers have some offensive line questions, and they don't have a great defense. But with Micah Parsons, he erased a lot of the issues that they had. I was shocked they used that first-round pick on Matthew Golden. I thought they were going to keep firing either at offensive line or at defense because I thought they had a lot of receivers. Now, they obviously decided to let Dontavian Wicks go. They let Romeo Doubs go. So they had a different vision in mind. But it's like, all right, that's a lot of investment that they've made in weapons around Jordan Love with Christian Watson and with Matthew Golden and with Tucker Kraft and with Josh Jacobs. Obviously, a lot of continuity on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know why, if you're a Packer fan, you wouldn't expect them to be a top 10, maybe top 5 offense this year. Like, he's had 9-game stretches of seasons where it's like, did Jordan Love just have 20 touchdowns against 1 interception in 9 games? Like, he's done that before in his career. So I think his ceiling is actually very, very high. They just need to put it together right out of the chute because Micah Parsons is going to miss a third of the season.
Yeah, you make a good point with starting the season off hot. I think more than anything, Matt LaFleur has to allow Jordan Love to do more. And I say this because you get the sense that when you watch, I'm going off that last playoff game, you don't get up against the Bears on the road and then kind of settle or throttle it back. You have a quarterback that you can give the keys to, and he can drive the car wherever you want it to go. You don't take the keys back from him, ever. You don't put him in the passenger seat, and I feel like that's what has happened sometimes. You got to let your quarterback go. If he's going to make mistakes, he's going to make mistakes, and let him grow from those mistakes on his own.
It's wild, too, because I have talked about it, like, how that game ended was a bad Jordan Love mistake, like the last time he had the ball. But then you look at, like, his interception rate is excellent. Yeah. Like, Jordan Love doesn't turn the ball over.
He doesn't.
But his turnovers are awful.
They are.
When
he does,
when he does, they are real bad. You don't seem to be very high on Jordan Love.
I'm just not high on the Packers. I think that, like, I think about game records on a team, right? Like, if you look at the best teams in the NFL, you could list, like, the game records. Like, guys like, this guy, we got to stop this guy. I don't think they have a big list. I really don't think they have a big list compared to other contenders in the NFL. And that's what concerns me. And you mentioned something that's important. So you want to see them unlock Jordan Love offensively. Does he trust him to do it? That's the question. Does he trust him to do more offensively? If you don't, then you're just going to be this team every year that sort of just is what they are every season with Jordan Love. I hope he does more. Interceptions, to me, you can throw some interceptions. It's okay. That's a sign to me you're not pushing the ball down the field and trying to make some plays every now and then.
Let's go to the Chargers here, who obviously had the injury news. Tyler Biadasz out indefinitely with the ACL injury. Chargers are hosting the Niners tomorrow. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about checking the box, Jeff, or a red flag. So, do you need to see an opening drive? This is the debut.
They better do it.
Of Mike McDaniel and Justin Herbert. Do you need an opening drive touchdown?
I don't. I just want to see the process work, right? I want to see what it looks like offensively. Is it clean? Do you have, obviously, the cadence correct? Do you have the motions correct? Like, if they're not scripting an opening drive, I don't really care if they score or not. I just want to see it look like it should. And that's the check marker. Oh, it looks like it should. He's going to play one series, I would imagine. Probably most starters are playing. And just does it look like it should? A touchdown, someone might fumble. It might be tip pass interception. Might miss a field goal. I don't know. But just doesn't look like it should.
Yeah, no, you don't need to. I don't need to see an opening drive. But if there was ever a time that, and you never want guys to get hurt. If there is a time that you would prefer guys to get hurt, it is early when you have a chance to adjust and then move forward. And so with that being said, you got a young center starting. You want the operation to be on time. You want the snaps to look good. You want everything that you normally would get with Biadasz out there. Yeah. You want it to still look the same and or better.
Pretty liberal guy. I am so conservative when it comes to the preseason. I'm just terrified of injury. I'm just like work through the rust in week 1.
More guys have gotten hurt in training camp than in the preseason games.
Okay.
The last 3 days and joint practices in the preseason games.
Well, then don't do that either.
I'm
just
pro,
bubble wrap, don't tackle, come out in week 1, and if you're a little rusty, be healthy, man. Honestly, they are very talented. They have a very high ceiling.
He'll get a drive, probably at the most. If it doesn't go well, he'll get a second drive. That's
I just don't need to see anything from Justin Herbert. I know he's good.
I think with the new center,
I know he's good.
The new center, you got to work on that operation in the game.
You want to see that operation.
I mean, listen, I guess you guys played, so you probably know better than me. I guess I'll concede that. I have zero career
But you are right, though.
But it's just like the only news that ever comes out of this stuff that matters is bad. The only news that comes out of it is bad.
You are right.
There's never any good news that they say, oh, wow, he had a touchdown in the preseason. Means absolutely nothing.
No one cares.
Oh, wow, that guy ruptured his Achilles in the preseason.
Sure.
That seems to matter a great deal. Like, we did the Joe Burrow, like, oh, man, he was 5 of 6 passing, but he got sacked and he got hit another time and they didn't score. Is that a bad sign? I'm like, did he survive the game? Then it's fine. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Do you come out of preseason healthy? It's the only thing that matters.
And does it look like it should?
But how many times have you seen? Remember, like Peyton Manning used to be winless in the preseason and then go out in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he did his job in the first drive of the game.
I'm just saying. I don't see much correlation. Just be healthy. I hope Caleb takes 0 career preseason snaps. That's what I'm.
Bonjour, compadre. It's the
Priceline Negotiator.
How do I negotiate so many great travel deals? My greatest gadget. The Priceline app. It's got hotel deals, flight deals, rental car deals, all of those deals in a bundle. Deals, game day deals, concert trip deals. No one deals more deals than Priceline. Hold your horses, there's more. The app lets you filter hotels by neighborhood, vibe, star level, and amenities like pools and spas and beachfronts and... Wait, I'm not done. Stop cutting me off.
Priceline.
Today, the NFL is back on Fox. It's a preseason showcase. The reigning Super Bowl champion Seahawks taking on the Titans. It all kicks off 8 Eastern, Sunday on Fox. Time now for afternoon headlines sponsored by Credible. All of the rates, none of the bull. So the Rams have officially built a super team. But Nate Adkins of The Athletic is reporting that there is some growing concern with their offensive line depth, writing, the heavy play-action nature of the offense does help the line in pass protection, but it also asks Stafford to turn his back to the defense on a given snap, so the protection will need to hold up to protect what matters more than anything to this team, protecting number 9. Totally fair observation. There's no perfect team. Every team has at least some question marks. Jeff, is this a legitimate concern for the 38-year-old Matt Stafford?
Yes, it has to be concerned, especially if Jackson's going to be out for some time at left tackle. They don't look. Now, to be fair, most teams don't have backup tackles just waiting out there.
Yes.
So it's not just a Rams problem when guys get hurt, but it's still just not an overly talented offensive line. They play hard. They certainly do. I think the scheme definitely helps them. The play action pass. They build a lot of double teams, right? And what they do with the duo in the inside zone and stuff. And they do a really good job of sort of eye manipulating the defense to give you different looks to sort of move guys pre-snap and post-snap. They find ways to make it work. The problem is you're in Seattle on 3rd and 8. Can you hold up on 3rd and 8, right? You're on the road somewhere else. Can you hold up in those situations where Matt Stafford needs a little bit more time? I'm not sure I trust this offensive line as it's constructed to do that consistently enough to where I feel great about it. They're not in the top probably half of the league in offensive lines. They're not. Maybe they're in bottom 3rd, somewhere around there. So it is a concern, absolutely.
It's not that big of a concern, in my opinion, because you do have Matthew Stafford. And this is why I say it. When you have a veteran guy who, do you think we know if the offensive line is more of a concern than Matthew Stafford? No.
No, he probably has more intelligence.
And so if he's aware of it, like typically when you have a veteran quarterback, a guy who knows, okay, my left side is a little weak, I know when I need to get the ball out quicker. I know when I need to speed this thing up. That's what you got in Matthew Stafford. He is fully aware, so as well as Sean McVay. So all those points that you make about the window dressing and the motions and the helping out, if you will, of where you are weak or where you can have some voids, you're going to do those things. But the number one thing for this outfit offensively, they have to be able to run the ball. If they cannot run the ball, none of what they do truly works because it's predicated off of the play action fake. But if they can run the ball, everything, all systems go. You can be missing the offensive lineman, and Matthew Stafford knows, okay, I got to get this ball out quick because I know this guy is rushing from the right, and I don't have that long of protection. I got to get the ball out and make a quick decision.
So I remember going into last year, Remember Matt Stafford has the stiff back, and we had questions about the offensive line, and we were like, man, this is going to be the thing.
I didn't think he was going to make it through the season.
And then he led the league in touchdowns and won MVP going away, and it was one of the great seasons that we've seen from a quarterback recently. So I think there's all the reason in the world to give McVay and Stafford the benefit of the doubt. And Stafford, it's kind of insane. For his age, 35, 36, and 37 seasons, his last 3 years, how many games he's missed due to injury? 1.
Yeah.
But it is really impressive that he has had the bumps, the bruises, the bad back, the age, the bad offensive line, the questionable offensive line, and he's stayed upright for it. So he knows. But I will say, it is how you go from a super team to overrated if this is the year that the offensive line is the issue. Because we were looking this up before the show. Matt Stafford, when he's not hit, and we just judge this by sacks, and I know there's other ways to do it, pressures, hits, all those things. But when Matt Stafford is sacked 0 or 1 times, he is, obviously everyone's good, right? Like the NFL average there is excellent. Score 20. If you're not getting the pass rush home, you're going to be good. But Stafford is in another universe, right? He's scoring 33 points per game if he's operating back there without being afraid of getting touched. It's spectacular. But if he gets sacked 3 or more times, and again, everyone's numbers go down, but Stafford is right in line with league average. So I thought that was fascinating. Everyone is good when they're not hurt or not hit, but Stafford is way better than average. When he is looking down, worried, not confident about his offensive line, getting peeled off the turf a few times, he is right in line with a league average player. So can that be the Achilles heel for the Rams to turn this offense, which was arguably the best in football, into a league average unit?
To your point, it would be if that's the reason why they don't play well. It's the offensive line. But Greg mentioned it's important. Running the ball on early downs makes third down shorter, which means you get the ball out quicker, which means Stafford has more protection inside, which means you can play extra passes, move the pocket. I thought it was interesting in the first preseason, they moved the pocket a lot.
They did.
A lot, that maybe more they do with Stafford. I wonder if that's something they're going to add to the offense that allows the offensive line just sort of get a break on that play. With all the tight ends they do, there's so many different ways they can use a lot of that bootleg action. Obviously, Stafford doesn't move as well as Ty Simpson does, but that was not new to the offense, but it was very heavily influenced in game one. That means they've been doing it at camp. That means they've been working on moving the pocket stuff. That's another element to help an offensive line through a tough stretch.
I think that the super team moniker is fun because we know a lot of the names, but it's a very top-heavy roster. Like when you don't have all of those first-round picks, they've done a good job of drafting in the middle rounds, but they don't have a lot of young, cheap reinforcements of premium draft talent. You know, Devontae, old. Stafford, old. Obviously, Puka Nacua, not old and should be excellent and in his prime. We're talking about Aaron Donald making a big difference. Myles Garrett at 30 years old, changing over their secondary. I think they are the deserving favorites who are still a little overrated. Like, I don't think they are much better than every other team in the NFL. If we have questions about their offensive line, if they're a top-heavy roster.
So we talked briefly about the Seahawks. And the one thing that you kind of mentioned or alluded to was they're returning players.
Yeah.
And then mentioning, well, they drafted guys, but they're not going to be playing. So they have depth. This is one of the issues when you have a top-heavy roster. Yes. It's like, okay, we have the names that we're rolling out immediately. But if anything starts to happen, do we have the depth to where we can still sustain who we expected ourselves to be because of the depth behind them? And I don't know if this team has that. If they don't have the injuries, no issue. All systems go. They should be fine. But if they start having some issues of injuries, then it could go left really, really fast.
To be fair, they have done this once, right? They won the first Super Bowl and reloaded and got back to where they are now. So, but the question is, if you look at the roster just as it is right now, the depth is not quite there, but that typically happens for very top-heavy teams that are trying to win Super Bowls.
And you got a very high floor with Sean McVay and Matt Stafford.
Unbelievable.
It's a very high floor. Let's talk about another team that's probably also being a little forgotten in their division because of how good Seattle and the Rams are, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. They are, of course, they're the Niners. They're dealing with a slew of injuries. They have the joint practices going on right now with the Chargers. Also, that, shockingly or not, is impacting Brock Purdy. Take a listen.
Honestly, I don't think it was our best day. I feel like fundamentals and stuff were just a little off and whatnot. I
I mean, obviously there was some good stuff, some stuff we need to work on, but I just feel like we could have came out with a little bit more chip on our shoulder. Offensively, I don't know how our defense did, but yeah, that's just overall thoughts.
Greg, would you sell stock in the Niners?
Yeah, I would sell stock in the Niners. Look, Kyle Shanahan did a tremendous job last year. Tremendous job last year.
Great coach.
If he has to, if things that we're seeing right now continue to be what we're seeing moving through the season, again, with the injuries, not having guys available, it's just hard. I don't care how good of a coach you are to do it again in this league, let alone in that division.
Yeah, being the third best team behind the two teams that were in the NFC Championship game and having injuries is a tough spot to be.
It's just a tough spot.
The problem besides the injuries is that they have drafted very poorly for 4 years now. They have not drafted well. When you look at their roster and their depth, you can look at the first round picks. Obviously, we couldn't put all the last 4 years on here, but Trey Lance, obviously, they traded all those picks. They missed out on first round picks for years. Pearsall, obviously, unfortunately, had some off the field, right? Got hurt again. Williams got hurt last season. But the rest of the roster, none of these guys are any impact players. You go down 2023, 2024, 2025. They don't have any impact players that are young. They're all super top heavy. So if these guys start getting hurt, which they're getting hurt as they get older, there's no one to backfill. There's just no one there. And we don't talk enough about, I think, about the Niners draft picks, man. Like, who are the dudes? Who are the dudes right now that you got? Trent, obviously, got McCaffrey, you got Warner. Yeah, you got Purdy. Who else?
Kittle, Bosa,
Sure,
Evans.
they're all old.
Yeah,
they're
right.
They're all old.
That is the thing. If this was a video game and you could turn health or you could turn injuries off,
Yes.
right? You're just like everybody gets to play
Yeah.
Oh, one
a
of the best in the
100% healthy season. I would think they're very live, but it's very hard because it's not a video game. I checked. Like to say that there aren't going to be injuries when your best players are old players and your best players are old players with an injury history and you're in that division. But I would also say they are a good team. Like they got a great coach, so that gives them a high floor. They have a quarterback who is way better than I thought he would ever be, but forget that. He just executes that system to an unbelievable level. And if they weren't in the NFC West, now AFC West it wouldn't be, NFC North it wouldn't necessarily be, but I feel like the Niners would be favorites or second favorites in about half the divisions in football. But they're third in this division because of where they're. They are a very good team that it feels like at the beginning of the year their ceiling is the wild card because of how good the Seahawks and the Rams are, whereas obviously if they were in the NFC South, they'd be the clear favorite. So I do think they're a little bit better than we talk about, even with the injury caveat.
So when you listen to Brock Purdy and he starts talking about, he leads with talking about fundamentals, that's a red flag. You talked about this. Red flag or what was it?
Just check mark.
Check
mark, red flag.
Check mark, red flag.
In the preseason.
When your quarterback is getting up and saying, man, the fundamentals we could have been better fundamentally. What? That means there's a lot of missed assignments. Yeah. There's a lot of pre-snap issues.
But McCaffrey's not practicing right now. Mike Evans isn't doing it.
We
that's
totally,
the problem.
we get that, which is why I'm saying I'm taking all my stock and I'm selling.
I can tell you're not a gambler. You're pulling your stock in words.
You know what he was doing. He's trying.
I was about to push it in, and I realized I can't push it in. I am not a gambler.
I get it. It's very confusing. We're mixing metaphors here. Top 5 is boring. Best offense in football for the Bears. I can tell you how many times it's happened in my lifetime. 0.
There's never been a race like this. One weekend, one city. The Freedom 250 Grand Prix. 7 turns, 1.7 miles. Look at this crowd. Fans have turned out in a huge way. He has momentum now, past the capital. This is history in the making.
History is coming to the nation's capital. IndyCar races through the heart of Washington, D.C. It's a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle celebrating America's 250th. The Freedom 250 live Sunday, August 23rd. You see it there. 3 days and 18 hours from now, only on Fox. Now back to football. Caleb Williams and the Bears put up about 26 points per game last season, just under. It was Ben Johnson's first year as the head coach. But according to Ben Solak, he had a great piece out today on the Bears offense and its evolution, there's more to it than just Caleb Williams. Solak writes, the Bears offense was stripped down to the studs and rebuilt anew in a process Johnson knew would be painful and slow, but it worked. It set up the Bears for total team success. Not only in 2025 when a revitalized QB, but for years to come with a complete system, and it started not on the air, but on the ground. So I wanted to make this question very high stakes. Do you think, and by the way, shout out to Ben Solak. I was asking Troy, our esteemed researcher here at First Things First Overtime and First Things First, I was like, do you know how he got one of these stats in there? And he's like, no. And that means they're going deep. If Troy hasn't seen one of the stats, I was like, that is very good stuff. It was a very thorough piece. But do you think it is on the board that the Bears are the best offense in football?
I would say it's not off the board. If Williams takes the next jump, look, he's got to complete more passes. We talk about it all the time with him. It's just got to be a little more in rhythm, a little more in structure. We know he can do the off-structure stuff. We know he can do the fourth quarter comebacks and those sweet plays in overtime. We get that. Can he do it early in the game? Can he do it on script? And if the Bears' defense is not very good this season, he's going to have to score a ton of points to keep up. So there's that combination as well. Look, if you sort of have the check marker pieces, right? Running back, good. Quarterback, tight end, really good. Weapons, really good. Obviously, you hope for health and Burton and whatnot. You know, he's healthy. Offensive line, 4 of the 5, you feel pretty good about. You got to figure out left tackle. Greg, like they're capable of being that team. It's a lot of competition. But if we think Caleb Williams can be as good as he can get to, year 2, I'm counting this as year 2 for him. Year 1 we're throwing out, right? Year 2, basically, a lot of quarterbacks make that jump between year 1 and year 2.
So, yes.
Love
I'm going to answer the question straight up. Yes.
Love it.
Was it Ben Solak?
Yeah.
He said it started not in the air, on the ground. And when you watch this team, they run the ball well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was out the gate. We were going to run the ball. Ben Johnson knew he did it in Detroit. He understood the philosophy of we got to start with our ground attack. They have established what they want to be and what it's going to look like if you're playing them and you're trying to stop the run. You better be ready. The next step is the passing game. And I had to look more into why Caleb was so bad in terms of completion percentage, because when you watch him with Colston Loveland, it's like, man, I don't see too many drop passes. I don't see too many errant throws. But it was the receivers. And again, when you look at these numbers, they're glaring. Like, you got to be able to make those throws on the left to your receivers. And now you got Rome Odunze. I know Moore isn't there. Zach is not there. But Luther Burden and Rome Odunze, they're going to be there. You cannot throw under 60% when you're trying to be a great offense moving forward, and the next phase is the offense. Now, when he's throwing to the tight end, specifically Colston Loveland, over 70%, but 67% is the average. Now the targets are down. I think that's actually going to come up, because Ben Johnson is one of those guys that he's going to challenge him in the places where he's been most uncomfortable. And clearly, where he's been most uncomfortable is throwing outside the numbers to those guys at the skill position, meaning the wide receivers. If he gets that up to 63, 64%, he's going to improve with the tight ends. So that number may go up, and naturally they'll be able to sustain drives, make drives a little easier, and execute in the red zone with him as a dual threat quarterback and that running game. Yeah, they can be one of the better offenses, if not the best offense in all of football.
Obviously, everyone knows, I think, that they can be the best offense in football. And it's just an amazing thing to go into a year thinking that the Bears can be. I mean, they literally have never had the number 1 scoring offense in my life. I turned 40 in October. So it's never happened. They've been second twice. And that's basically it. And so it's a foreign concept. Ben Johnson just talks about explosive plays. The article details brilliantly how the first 4 weeks of last year, they basically had no running game, and they spent the entire bye week being like, this is what we have to do. This is what you guys are messing up. These are the attention to details. And then from the bye week on, they were the best running team in football. Ended up as the 2nd overall rushing team in the NFL the first 4 weeks. Sunk it. Their offensive line is very good. Sure, there's questions at left tackle. Dahlman retiring at center is an issue, but they brought in Bradbury, and they drafted the kid out of Iowa. They drafted another tight end, Sam Roush. They kept my guy Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
They still have Colston Loveland. Like, they want to be at the forefront of putting 2 and 3 tight ends on the field. Yeah. So if you go small, we're going to run on you, and if you go big, we're going to pass on you. Like, Ben Johnson wants to be at the forefront of that in the play action game. And I just truly believe that by the end of the year, we're going to say there is a big 3 of the young, big-brained coaches in the NFL with Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, and Ben Johnson's just in that group. And I think it's going to be Ben Johnson, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and then you give those guys great quarterback play and great quarterback talent, they just win big. Yeah. Like that's just what we've seen. So Caleb Williams with that coach, I do think that's their ceiling. Now, again, Dallas thinks they could be the best offense, right?
And they have a shot.
Buffalo, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Detroit, the Rams.
Yes.
There's a lot of teams who think they can be the best offense in football, but I firmly believe the Bears are in that group.
I still have to look at year 2 with these coordinators, these guys, these young whizzes, man. Year 2, it really pops, right? You know what your team is good at, you know what your team is bad at, and you spend all offseason working on those things. You come into year 2, and everyone's just so much more confident. Imagine where they are now, just entering this week of training camp compared to last year. Like, they're just way ahead. I think they're going to have a great season.
They said last year in training camp, everything about Caleb Williams was pre-snap. Getting the play call out, getting to the line of scrimmage, not having procedural penalties and false start penalties. Everything was about pre-snap. This training camp, they said, it's all been about post-snap. So just in terms of what you're talking about, like he was like, I didn't spend a lot of time reading defenses last year because he was so worried about everything that was happening pre-snap. There's a very, very high ceiling associated with this team on offense. You're going to be fine, Greg.
I know.
You're going to be fine. That's why they play the preseason? No, don't play the preseason at all. Practice fights. It's good video, but
great.
Jeff Schwartz wants it banned. Team no fun over here. What's next on First Things First? Predictions week is coming up. I'm so not concerned with how I'm going to dominate predictions week. I'm not even wearing a tie in the front. That's how easy it is for me to pick winners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every division, Super Bowl winner?
Every division, Super Bowl winner, MVP. And then, of course, me and Nick have our head-to-head against the spread contest.
Correct, yes. 3 years in a row?
Well, listen, I won last year if you include the playoffs.
No.
Lost last year.
Just hold that L.
Contest ends in the regular season.
It's time now for winners and losers. First up, winner. Yeah, I'm a sore loser, okay? Fights. Tensions flare. Cowboys and Saints joint practice. And you would think this would be universally condemned by both parties. Brian Schottenheimer, Cowboys head coach, I have this quote correct, said, "We're not taking bleep from anybody."
Yeah, you're not going to take it, but they had 13 fights yesterday at practice.
Yeah, that feels like a bit above average.
It's a little bit. It's a little too much. Look, I don't mind guys going at it. It's a part of the game, but the joint practices, it tends to go a little overboard because they're not your teammate.
Yes,
you don't have to go in the same locker room with them. And so there's a line that's drawn when it is your teammate, where sometimes there's not a line that's drawn when it's
just suplexing dudes. Like, that's the starting Cowboys safety. Like, the thing with the joint practice fights is that guys go into it, I think, looking to fight for a couple reasons. One, you're physical, aggressive. But two, like, some guys do want to get thrown out of practice.
So
I will thrown out of practice.
I will say this: I don't mind the fights. Like, I want to see, especially my linemen, my big guys. Yeah,
it's
fight.
so tiring.
I'm not gonna do it though. I'm in the back. I'm like way in the back, looking like, oh, they fighting over there.
So you're the guy that puts his helmet on and runs over and kind of is like.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting the helmet on.
You have to be seen on the film that you're like near the pile. You don't have to get in the pile, but you put the helmet on.
Let me full disclosure. I'm that guy. I'm gonna put my helmet on, grab Danny because he's the closest one to me, and we gonna be talking like, yeah, man, what you told? You better be. We not really doing anything.
What are you doing for dinner tonight?
But if someone punches you,
how are your kids?
Yeah, no, that's different.
Okay,
that's different. But no, I'm not.
Did you ever win any fights?
I'm like 1-1. I had a big one. I started a big one in college, a big one in the NFL. That one in the NFL didn't go very well. I got tackled to the ground, helmet fell off. It was not great. Yeah.
All right, let's get to a loser here. Caffeine. Dan Campbell said he's cutting down his coffee intake from a gallon to a half gallon a day. And said he also can chug a cup of coffee before bed.
I believe that.
What?
Dan.
Yeah, I could have coffee near bedtime. I'd be fine. I don't drink a gallon a day or half gallon, maybe a couple cups a day, but like eventually caffeine sort of wears off. That's why he has to drink a gallon a day. So I get hyped up. Wasn't he the one who said he used to get like 4 espresso shots at every?
Yeah.
So he's doing this plus the espresso or just the? Oh boy,
I don't know.
buddy, it's a lot.
It's Dan. I've been around Dan. I've been in the locker room with Dan.
But he cut back though. We should congratulate him on half a gallon now.
Hey.
Like new year, new Dan?
Yeah, there we go.
It's like a mellow Dan Campbell. I don't know if
His doctor was probably like enough.
yeah, right.
I don't know if he can mellow out. That's no.
Yeah, there's no version.
There's no version of him mellowing.
Winner, incentives. Von Miller made his Cowboys debut yesterday, wore number 40. When asked what he will have to give to get the jersey from fullback Hunter Lepke, Von said, a lifetime supply of chicken. Either of you guys ever have to buy a jersey number or have one purchased from you?
No and no.
Okay.
But if I did have to, I mean, I wish the guy that I was had the jersey, I could offer him some free gas.
Do we have any details about like is it like anywhere he wants to eat at, or is it like he's giving him the chicken?
What kind of chicken?
Is he giving him the chicken, like the whole chicken to prepare himself? Like, hey, you call, hey, I want some chicken today. Like, can I use your credit card? Like,
I hope it's Popeyes. Then he got it. Yeah, it's the best.
It sounds like my kid.
Oh my God, it's the best. Loser, Greg Jennings. Rain delay in Cubs White Sox. Cubs and White Sox fans coming together in the rain, tarps off, tarp on the field, but shirts off.
Boy.
Little Green Bay sucks chant.
That's
how it brings the north side and the south side together.
Do we got audio on this? I'd love to hear this.
Little harmony. I can tell you how it sounded.
Yeah.
Green Bay sucks. Green Bay sucks. Yeah,
This is amazing. You know how much that rent is?
You know,
you know how much I pay for that rent?
That's what Packers fans like to say.
Free.
That's what Packers fans like to say.
That is
and then
free
you know what
rent
we
right
say?
there.
Scoreboard 2-1 against you guys last year, 1-0 in the playoffs. The OT is next.
This is why we can't let you win.